Good evening, I'm Andrea Anderson.
I'm Brian Allen. Governor Rhoden continuing to travel across South Dakota for his Open for Opportunity tour. And today he stopped by Boyd's hardwood gun stocks in Mitchell. During the visit, he signed a handful of pro-Second Amendment legislation.
State House reporter Grant Green has more on these bills and Rhoden's response to the concerns presented. It is our top story here at 6. Grant.
Yeah, Brian and Andrea, Governor Rhoden's schedule has only picked up since the end of session. Today, he took more action to make South Dakota one of the leading states in expanding gun rights.
Governor Rhoden signed 3 bills today, including a couple that have made headlines previously. Senate Bill 100 will allow college students to conceal carry firearms on campuses if they have an enhanced permit. House Bill 1218 will allow for local government employees to conceal carry on property owned by that government.
There's a lot of concern that I think we'll see in coming time that it's unfounded and that we can get along just right, honoring and respecting our Second Amendment rights the way they were written and intended.
When asked about the concerns of individuals having more opportunities to conceal carry, Rhoden compared it to the concerns brought up when the state passed constitutional carry back in 2019.
And for years and years, law enforcement, there was a lot of wringing of the hands and speculation about what could happen with constitutional carry. None of that proved to be true. That was 6 years ago that we passed that law.
Boyd's Gunstock co-owner Rob Karstensen said the event was a great showcase of South Dakota values.
Anything to release regulations only helps our business long term. So that was good to see. South Dakota in general, it was nice just to have them stop by, thank them, because South Dakota is a great place to run a business.
These bills will take effect July 1st.
Rhoden also signed a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel asking them to help eliminate the 7-day waiting period to ship firearms and silencers. Brian.